I wanted to answer the question you sent in. I thought it'd be easiest to shoot you a little video of my responses. Sounds like you have some kids that are going to that level 3, or you're perceiving it as a level 3. You don't really have an office structure in place. Some schools don't. They have part-time principals, which sounds like you do. Anybody can do that process once they understand it. So that could be a teacher aide, that could be somebody else. I see that in many schools. I taught special ed, so sometimes my aide would have to cover while I did the process with the kid, or vice versa. You'll have to just try to figure out how to make that work. But I do want to challenge you on, it's very obvious these kids' brains are stuck in the autonomy fight. That's where they're fighting for control. Anytime you feel strong by not doing what you're asked to do, or feel like you're winning, then the brain's in the wrong space. You've got to shift that brain into it being a skill. Your foundations are important, but I would challenge you, do they really look like skills, or are they fancy rules? The other thing I would challenge you on is many people say I can do a Give 'em 5 conversation, but they don't sound natural, and they're still pretty bossy when they do it, and they accidentally push that brain into the autonomy fight. I watch a lot of people do a Give 'em 5 like this. I expect, if you can't, then this will happen. It's not moving the brain to see it as a skill. If children will not come up with a solution, and they will not work on it, which I've had, and I talk in the book at length about this, then I will come up with something, but it will be probably not their favorite, because I'm going to be assured they can be successful. So if I have to move your seat so you can keep from talking, then that would be my solution to try to help. But we'll only do that until you want to come up with one that you think will work. It will be my implementation. If they're not safe at recess, playing in a supervised area without the rest of the kids would be my solution. But it will stop when they have a real solution. Many kids are playing a game with you. I'll sit down here and pout, and then I feel like I'm winning. That tells you what part of the brain is active. Also, RCD is a comprehensive program. It is not, let's have a teacher go to a training or watch a video and then let's hope that they have the skill to do it. It's a comprehensive program. I'm glad you watched it, but I hope you have support from your administration eventually. Asking any teacher to do all that on their own, to me, is a little disingenuous of how hard that's going to be. Also, mastering Give 'em 5 is going to take practice. You can't get that by watching the videos and going back and saying, I memorized 5 things. You got to get in there and do repetitions with your staff. I go to schools all the time and I say, how many people can do a Give 'em 5? I say, how many people are comfortable coming up and doing one? Nobody. There's a big difference between I know those 5 things, or I've got them embedded into my conversations. And remember, Give 'em 5 is to move that brain out of autonomy and get it back into mastery. Are you good at supporting and benefiting when they begin to struggle? Have you practiced that? That takes deep practice. So I would just challenge you, brush up the skills, but if they will not come up with something, then tell them, then the only thing I know to do is come up with what I think will help you, and that would be this. And it's usually a little more restrictive than something they want. So that's where I would start. There's a lot that goes into RCD because it's a big program, but I think if you could start there, that would help you some.